Hi guys, Tony here. Next video on the mind control that humanity is currently experiencing. I'm up here in Iceland at the moment. You've probably seen, I've probably bored you to death with all my photographs up here, but it's so stunning that every time I go out I just want to take more pictures and just share it with the world, you know. So apologies in advance, but there you go. I've covered quite a few aspects over the last few weeks of the mind control that humanity is experiencing, keeping us in a lower level of consciousness, and I do believe that it's a shift in consciousness on a mass scale which is really going to change things, i.e. people waking up to what's going on. So I would advise anyone new watching this to go back over the previous videos I've done if you've not already watched them. They are in some kind of order. I've covered divide and rule, which is going on with the attack on Islam at the moment, where they're trying to divide us and get us pitting us off against each other. I've covered problem, reaction, solution, where we talked about 9/11, whereby they create a problem, get the reaction that they planned from the public, and then present the solution which was already planned at the outset. I've covered the mindset that we have as a species, really, whereby we just don't believe in ourselves, don't believe in our true power, don't believe that we can effect change, which is really quite damaging for future progress. We need to get ourselves out of that mindset and realise that we can all make a difference, no matter how small. And the last one I did was on the media, how it's controlled, how the messages presented to us are controlled by, I think it's 52 companies in the world that own all the newspapers, TV stations, and everything like that. So the message that we're getting is from a very small source pool, which can easily be controlled. Now, as I've already stated in previous videos, that some of you will be aware of all these techniques. I'm not teaching you how to suck eggs. These are designed to sort of be snapshots which might make people think who perhaps aren't as aware. So I'm not patronising anyone in any way. This is just my way of getting out the message that needs to get out. So having said all that, the next subject I'm going to talk about, which is really quite synchronistic, really, being up in Iceland, is money in the banking system. We've seen here in Iceland in the last couple of weeks, there's been four or five bankers that were part of the crisis back in 2007, and they're actually looking at 3 to 5 years imprisonment. Now, it's probably not long enough, and they're probably still going to be rich when they get out, but it's a start, and it just goes to show that if it can be done, Iceland has around about, I think, 350,000 people, and they've managed to get some justice there. The UK has, I think, 64 million people, and these bankers are just wandering around doing whatever the fuck they want, with no consequences to them. And I think part of that is due to the British mindset of being more interested in how Lucy died, or whatever her name is, in EastEnders, rather than, you know, what really is going on. So my point is that it can be done. I'm not too sure how much influence the Icelandic people have had. I know there is a bit of debate as to how much they've demanded this, but it still happened, and I really think that if it can happen here, it can definitely happen in the UK and on a larger scale, because the UK and London is where this is where the financial system of the world is set up. So if we could affect some sort of change there, it would have worldwide ripple effects. But this means standing up. It means shutting down. I'm going to go back and I'm going to look at alternative banks myself. I'm not sure if there is such thing as an ethical bank, but at least it's making a noise. It's telling them that we're not standing for them. It was great to see, I think it was Emma Thompson and her husband have come out and said that they're not willing to pay taxes whilst the likes of HSBC are harbouring these tax evasion companies like Amazon, Google, McDonald's. All these companies are not paying a bean, along with politicians, corporations, and we as the public are paying, well, you will pay 60% of your wages on over 300 income taxes. You will work 6 months a year just to pay off your taxes. Now, for people who don't think they're slaves, just let that sink in for a second. 6 months of your year will be spent on paying off over 300 income taxes, whilst the politicians, bankers, corporations are getting away with nothing. When are you going to wake up and start getting angry about this? Not angry, bad angry, but direct your anger into positive change, into getting active, spreading the word. Because if we can do this in enough numbers, then I'm sure we can mirror what the Icelandic people have done here. But bringing it on to the whole subject of mind control, money is a form of mind control. Money does not exist anywhere in the natural world. We are the only species on the planet that has to pay for our own existence. It does not and will not ever exist. The only place it does exist in the perception, or the human perception. We are the only ones that put value on it, and our whole lives are dictated by it. I can pretty much guarantee that most people watching this, their lives are massively controlled by money. And I'm not saying that mine isn't at all at this stage. I need money to survive, but my point is that it controls us. It dictates how we behave. It dictates how we treat each other. I mean, you look at some of the industries out there, especially within sales and things like that. It's anything to get that extra pound, that extra bit of commission. It doesn't matter what that person's circumstance is, if they're going through trouble, if they're having problems themselves. It's just a question of making that extra pound, and basically acting completely immoral and inhumane. It takes the human out of humanity. So our lives are pretty much dictated by money. If people say they haven't got a religion, well, if money is the biggest religion in the world, it's used bar a couple of indigenous species, I think, and all it is if you go into a bank and you want to get a mortgage or a loan, they don't actually physically go and get that money for you. They type numbers in a screen, and then they charge you interest on it. And you spend your whole life paying that imaginary figure back. So this is what I mean by money being a form of mind control. It just dominates most of our lives, and it's there to keep us in servitude. Because while we live in a society where money is king, which it is at the moment, we're not gonna be looking at what's going on in the world. We're not going to be looking at all the things that the powers that were are getting up to with their scams, their paedophilia, and all that sort of stuff. They have got locked down under this system of money, and if people can't see the imbalance in it now, then you need help. So this is another way that they control us, keeping us on the treadmill, on the hamster wheel, work till you drop. They're talking now about working until you're 70. And I don't know about you, but I was not put on this planet to work until I was fucking 70. And it comes down to questioning your own existence. You know, if you think that's normal, then you really have got a problem. You weren't born, you weren't put on this earth just to work your arse off all life. And it causes stress a lot of the time because most people are doing jobs they don't like. They're under pressure as this financial crisis that the bank started anyway. We're on this treadmill of life, and no one questions. I was speaking to someone earlier this week that about bailiffs and about justifying going to take someone's home away from them because they've not paid their rent or whatever. I mean, we don't know what their circumstances are, but why are the bailiffs not turning up at the gates of HSBC? You know, again, it's always looking at each other rather than the bigger problem. And obviously people don't want to do that because it means putting them out their comfort zones. So I hope that's briefly got the message across. As I say, you can find the rest of my videos on my YouTube channel, Tony Sayers. I'm on Twitter, although I still don't know how to fucking use it. Mind Control Tony. Just a little bit of a rant as well. Had a few comments, and I know a few other people that do this vlogging get these like snidey comments from some people about if you actually think that people like me and others doing these videos are doing it for some sort of popularity contest, then you're absolutely fucking insane. It's Saturday afternoon here, and it's a beautiful day. I'll show you at the end. It's a beautiful day. All I want to do is go out and go for a walk in nature and enjoy my afternoon. But instead I'm talking about banking corruption and shit like that. I don't personally do this for any kind of popularity contest. I do it because it's morally right, because it needs to be brought to the light of day. And I find it disgusting, quite frankly, that people aim those sort of comments. And actually, when you ask them what they're doing, they can't tell you. So I just wanted to really bring that to light for the benefit of others that are doing this video logging as well. It's just bullshit. You know, we need to stick together. We're up against it. We're up against all these scams and what have you. And all we can do is attack each other. I mean, I would much rather be doing a lot more with my life than talking about all this shit. I'd love to get in touch with my creative side, which I've not ever had a chance to do because I've been in the grind all my life. And the last thing I want to do is talking about paedophile politicians and monarchy and scams and banking crisis and all this negativity, but it's my job as a human, not my job. I see it as I need to be doing this, or we need to be doing this in mass, and I'm not going to personally shirk my responsibilities. And it's uncomfortable. It's not nice. You fall out with friends, family members, and to have those sort of accusations fired at you, I mean, it's just disgusting, really. And I just think it needs to be said. So that was for all of us that are not just doing the video logging, for anyone sort of spreading any kind of truth or trying to raise awareness. Just fucking back off and look at what you're actually doing, and look at what you're doing to effect change yourselves. Anyway, I'm going to leave it on a positive note. I'm just going to give you the shot outside the window here of where I am. and just show you how beautiful this country is. So I'm now going to go for my walk in nature. Have a lovely weekend, and I will speak to you soon. Cheers, bye.